Leviticus. Walk through the fire, no one limbers. Kings and judges, prophets profound. Plowing the word, no mythical ground. Verse after verse, wisdom's bound. Heavenly soundtrack, soul serving sound. Anybody in here blessed? Anybody in here blessed? Bible in 1 year, we don't rest. Anybody in here blessed? No shortcuts, all divine routes. Listen to the whispers, no room for doubt. Parables drop stronger than gold faucets. Souls hydrated from divine prophets. Study the book, change perspectives. Carefully crafted, not too subjective. A year to reflect, learning perfect. Patterns of grace that time can't deflect. Old Testament drops deep and so real. Kings and warriors, covenant seals. Split that Red Sea, divine reveal. Commandments written, not made of steel. Bethlehem birth to cross on the hill. Unfolding the never blessings, pastor with skill. Scripture flip, every verse fulfilled.
Through the word, every verse, every chapter, nothing unheard. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed. Yo, online sermons, holy vibes delivered. Spreading light, got the sinners reconsidered. Psalm to psalm, man's like a holy DJ. Flipping through scripture, repping the Yahweh. Your emotes in the chat, praising the message. Flat cap on point, teaching eternal lessons. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed. Digital pulpit, preaching like a pro. Followers grow as the faith overflow. Keyboard clicks, holy words they stick. Raining blessings down with a slick rhyme trick. Virtual congregation, united in devotion. 1 year strong, a spiritual promotion. He's a life coach with divine instructions. Streaming holiness, no room for interruption. Flat cap changed the game, new pastoral fame. Virtual shepherd, he's embraced in the mainframe. In the comments, affirmatives and amens. With each Goliath tackled, faith extends. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed. Yo, online sermons, holy vibes delivered. Spreading light, got the sinners reconsidered. Psalm to psalm, man's like a holy DJ. Flipping through scripture, repping the Yahweh. Your emotes in the chat, praising the message. Flat cap on point, teaching eternal lessons. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed. Digital pulpit, preaching like a pro. Followers grow as the faith overflow. Keyboard clicks, holy words they stick. Raining blessings down with a slick rhyme trick. Virtual congregation, united in devotion. 1 year strong, a spiritual promotion. He's a life coach with divine instructions. Streaming holiness, no room for interruption. Flat cap changed the game, new pastoral fame. Virtual shepherd, he's embracing the mainframe. In the comments, affirmatives and amens. With each Goliath tackled, faith extends. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed. 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 Digital pulpit, preaching like a pro. Followers grow as the faith overflow. Keyboard clicks, holy words they stick. Raining blessings down with a slick rhyme trick.
Flat cap pastor, dashing through pages. Chronicles, Gospels, prophets, sages. Leviticus, laws to pause, find phrases. Turning them corners, your spiritual mazes. Genesis to Revelation, so divine. Flip them scripts, endless grace you'll find. Songs singing sweet, unbroken lines. Hitting that rhythm, wordplay refined. Anybody in here blessed? Anybody in here blessed? Bible in 1 year, we don't rest. Anybody in here blessed? Wake up early, the dawn's light shimmers. Spiritual breakfast, soul food dinners. Isaiah's vision, Ezekiel gold stickers walk through the fire, no one limbers. Kings and judges, prophets profound, plowing the word, no mythical ground. Verse after verse, wisdom's bound. Heavenly soundtrack, soul serving sound. Anybody in here blessed? Anybody in here blessed? Bible in 1 year, we don't rest. Anybody in here blessed? No shortcuts, all divine routes. Listen to the whispers, no room for doubt. Parables drop stronger than gold faucets. Souls hydrated from divine prophets. Study the book, change perspectives. Carefully crafted, not too subjective. A year to reflect, learning perfect. Patterns of grace that time can't deflect. Old Testament drops deep and so real. Kings and warriors, covenant seals. Split that Red Sea, divine reveal. Commandments written, not made of steel. Bethlehem birth to cross on the hill. Unfolding the never blessings, pastor with skill. Scripture flip, every verse fulfilled.
Through the word, every verse, every chapter, nothing unheard. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed. Yo, online sermons, holy vibes delivered, spreading light, got the sinners reconsidered. Psalm to psalm, man's like a holy DJ, flipping through scripture, repping the Yahweh. Your emotes in the chat, praising the message, flat cap on point, teaching eternal lessons. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed. Digital pulpit, preaching like a pro. Followers grow as the faith overflow. Keyboard clicks, holy words they stick, raining blessings down with a slick rhyme trick. Virtual congregation, united in devotion. 1 year strong, a spiritual promotion. He's a life coach with divine instructions. Streaming holiness, no room for interruption. Flat cap changed the game, new pastoral fame. Virtual shepherd, he's embracing the mainframe. In the comments, affirmatives and amens. With each Goliath tackled, faith extend. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed. Yo, online sermons, holy vibes delivered, spreading light, got the sinners reconsidered. Psalm to psalm, man's like a holy DJ, flipping through scripture, repping the Yahweh. Your emotes in the chat, praising the message, flat cap on point, teaching eternal lessons. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed. Digital pulpit, preaching like a pro. Followers grow as the faith overflow. Keyboard clicks, holy words they stick, raining blessings down with a slick rhyme trick. Virtual congregation, united in devotion. 1 year strong, a spiritual promotion. He's a life coach with divine instructions. Streaming holiness, no room for interruption. Flat cap changed the game, new pastoral fame. Virtual shepherd, he's embracing the mainframe. In the comments, affirmatives and amens. With each Goliath tackled, faith extend. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed. 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 Digital pulpit, preaching like a pro. Followers grow as the faith overflow. Keyboard clicks, holy words they stick, raining blessings down with a slick.
Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. Living Frost. 1. Thank you for the lurk. I hope you're doing well today, friend. I hope you are well. Turn this off. You know what? I will need that later, but I'm going to take it off until I need that later. All right. Oh, there's so many things to do. So little time. So little time. Sis Pineapple, listening and working. So working and lurking. Appreciate you, friend. Hope you are doing well. Hope your fam is doing well. It's good to see you hanging out, even if you aren't able to stay in the chat. It's good to see you pop in. Just seeing someone sent me a whisper. There's like only one person that usually sends me whispers. Okay. That is all good. That is all good. Okay. Chaos brain. Do you ever have that where you have too many things you're trying to think about, too many things you are doing, and you can't remember what the next thing is you need to do? Anyway, it's a good day. It's a good day. Let's move on over here. Thought I had that open, but apparently not. Apparently not. Well, we'll go here, actually. Well, no, we'll go here. Oh, it is open. Okay. Weird. It just wasn't pulling the first screen there. Okay. And, oh, I got to move it over. Then I can stretch it that little bit more to get it in. There we go. Papstio, welcome in, buddy. Hope you are doing well today, friend. And I had to change this because we had a little bit of a time problem, reschedule problem. Anyway, tonight, Warrior of Light and I will be over on the TCD channel. So that is... Yeah, let me just put it this way. Is this one the command that I want? Nope, that's over on the Discord. Okay. I need to have one for my podcast, I guess, is what I need to do. So let's try a shout out for At the Church Digital. Will that do it, or do I have to come over and... There we go. When that happens, you switch on your other brain. I have come to the conclusion that I have a scatty, creative brain and an efficient, more organized brain. Sometimes they get confused about which one is which. Oh, I get that. I get that. There's some times where, oh my goodness, I am so spot on. Function, can do multiple things, organize everything, and then there's sometimes like, I don't know what I just did. What was I gonna, and what was I just talking? But I'm usually good with rabbit trails, and I come right back to where I was. So anyway, what I was saying, Warrior of Light over here, it originally had been posted. It was 5 to 7 p.m. tonight. It is actually 6 to 8 p.m. tonight, Eastern Standard Time. But if you are Central, which Warrior of Light is, it is 5 to 7. Central Standard Time. Supersonic, Saved by Grace, Ketcham. Welcome in, friend. Good to have you here. So, anyway, we're going to be looking and talking about sacrifice today. What does it mean as a spiritual discipline to sacrifice? We'll look at that. We'll explore that. And then maybe we'll look at others then at 10 o'clock. So I was able to stream the workout stream on Monday. Tuesday, I was getting fiber put in, which, oh my goodness, I'm loving the fiber. I got told, dude, you don't need that much bandwidth. And I'm like, yeah, but I got to stream over here. I got to stream over here. And my wife needs all the, because she works remote. So I'm all good with paying more. Oh, plus I just went from, essentially 500 megabytes to 5 gigabytes and have the same bill. So I'm like, I'm just going to switch to this, keep the same bill, even if it's more than I need. It'll be fine. Because who knows? Maybe I'll add another stream or what I would love to do. By the way, if you have extra computers around your house and you have the bandwidth, I would love to just have up a computer with 5 different streamers up all the time so that they could have people watching them. I'd love to be able to do that. But anyway, that's just a thought there. So, Lucis, good to see you. The other thing is I have not had as much time to work and lurk in other people's streams as I would want to. And I definitely want to do that. Okay, before we get started, because I really hope that you guys would want to and are able to attend this digital conference that I'm helping out with.
I
for
run
the
into
Church
people
Digital.
that ask this all the time of what can you do with real ministry in digital spaces? And I spend a lot of time with people who are feeling called by God to reach people who are in a dark place, reach people who are far away from God. So we at the Church Digital, we have a digital conference for being a digital missionary. Yes, a digital conference for being a digital missionary. So if you're already in digital spaces and trying to figure out, how do I do this effectively? How do I think through good questions to make sure I'm being effective in what I'm doing? Sign up for the conference. If you have a pastor that doesn't understand, if you have church leaders that just don't understand, and if you are a youth leader, if you are a church leader and you're wondering, why doesn't other people feel and see the same thing I am? Come and hang out with those of us who do see and feel the same thing that you do. Encourage other people, encourage your pastor, encourage the tech crew in your church to come. It is missionary.digital. Sign up, you won't be disappointed. I run into people that ask this all the time of what can you do with...
All right, so there is that, and just go to missionary.digital, free conference on April 2nd. Oops, it scrolled down on me. On April 2nd. Totally free. We've got sponsors. That's the reason we're able to have this free. But we are looking at outside the building is where the mission field is. And the mission field isn't just physical, it's digital. And so we are trying to help wow, like what happened to the rest of the page? There used to be a rest of the page there. Let me just refresh. It's in 27 days. Oh, interesting. Well, it must be being refreshed because it had all the other info on there about the speakers and who it is. You signed up, Papsio? Awesome. Twitch is limited to 3 lurks per account, I believe. Oh, well, they may have changed it, but I was told several years ago it was 5. But anyway, doesn't matter. My point being is I like to keep up lurks to support people even when I can't fully be there. But if I have different accounts on different computers, I could do more, was my thinking. So anyway, this will be either you can watch it on your computer, you can watch it on your phone, or you can go into VR space. And I'm going to be one of the hosts in VR space. So all that info will be coming. But if you can't make it from April to at 11 a.m. Eastern time, no worries. Sign up anyway. You'll miss out on the conversations because we'll do breakout sessions. So all the speakers will be live. You'll have a chance to engage with them, and in breakout sessions that other people will be leading, that will be discussing different things that they're doing in ministry, different aspects of that. You can pick from a bunch of those, and those are being worked on. And I've got a bunch of friends doing some of those, and then you'll be able to watch them later. So you won't be able to watch the breakout sessions. We're not gonna video those because they're conversations with people. But the speakers you'll be able to have later. So if you can attend for part of it, you're gonna miss all of it because you're on the other side of the world. Sign up anyway. That's my encouragement. Sign up anyway. The other thing is, by signing up, it lets sponsors know that people are really interested in this and in digital online ministry. So please sign up, even if you can't make it, because it's going to help us out. Plus, I think you can watch the VODs later and learn a bunch. So, and that video I played, let me just copy that. So if you have a pastor, church leader, someone else that you're like, I've been trying to talk to them about doing digital ministry and, they're not sure what to do, feel free to share that clip with them. We'll have more posts coming out too. Okay. Dun, dun, dun. Let's see. Where are we? Turn brain on. Okay. That's where we are. We're looking at sacrifice today. Sacrifice. I don't know if we talk about this one or if you hear this one talked about frequently at all in your church. Maybe we're seeing things like we bring the sacrifice of praise. Um, it's always a weird song on some level because how is praise a sacrifice? I mean, I'm sacrificing all of the curse words I could say. Instead, I'm sacrificing what? My time to sing praises to God. I know. I know. The idea of bringing a sacrifice is bringing something to God. So I get that. I get that. But we're not talking about a sacrifice in the way of like an offering. Yeah, exactly. Supersonic Saber guys. Living sacrifice or offering. Exactly. We're going to go in the direction of what I personally do for sacrifice. Shout out to one dapper koi pond because fish are friends, not food. Yes, koi are friends for sure, not food. Okay, so yes, sacrifice is something that is like an offering, but living sacrifice is what you do as yourself. Great example, Supersonic. By the way, seeing you over in the ReachCon, conversations getting started. Are you having good conversations over there? I hope so. And maybe figuring out travel stuff as we get closer to it. I have not even begun to look at a place to stay while at ReachCon. I'm thinking my plan will be to look for an Airbnb and then invite people to hang out at the Airbnb. I think that's going to be my plan, but maybe I'll do a hotel instead. It just all depends. It should not be a busy schedule time for people to, need to rent an Airbnb. Oh, that's what I was trying to look at. Here's what I want to go first. Okay. Sacrifice. What is it? How limit card makes it tricky, though cost isn't hard. Low limit card, yes. Yeah, like I say, the only other thing I could suggest, Supersonic, is a debit card if you were able to do that. You know what? I've noticed on my screen hasn't been switched. Let me switch that. A debit card, because then it is only taking money that is in your account. So it's not credit, but it can be used to pay for things. Yeah, there's plenty of time to order the airfare in advance, pay that off, then the other cost on the card. Yeah, Ukulele Supersonic is mostly pay by cash and has a small limit prepaid credit card. But you could go with it, like I said, a debit card, which is essentially like writing checks, but they're electronic. So there is no I can rack up huge bills. It's I have to have the money there. But I don't know your whole reason for not having credit cards and that. There's good wisdom behind not having it, but yeah. You're right, but you literally can't buy airfare or hotels with cash. I don't know. I've never tried to do that. I'm guessing there probably is a way to do it, but the other thing is we were talking about reimbursements. Are also a thing you could do. But he's also talking about driving. Just some guy in Tennessee. Lots of months. Lots of months. Thank you, friend. Thank you, friend. I've got to take a look at my monikers there. I don't know if I've got the 3-year one done yet. I don't know if I do. So I'll be looking at that. We put that on my list. What's it called? Viewer. I don't know. I'm just going to put 3-year. And then I'll know. Viewer 3-year. I know what that is. Okay. You can write a check, but not many places take check. Yeah, it's becoming that way. Okay. And we got lots of time to help you and help you figure that out. You like when there are options rather than forced to pay with card. Yeah. And I'm on the opposite side. I want to pay everything with a card. If I have cash in my pocket, I have no idea how much it is. I have no idea where it went. If I put anything on a card, I know exactly every charge I have on a card. So, plus, I pay it off every month. So I'm not racking it. I don't spend it on the card that I don't have the money to pay it. I know that's not true of everyone that uses a card. All right, so sacrifice. And this, again, is restore.church, and we're looking at spiritual disciplines, and these have come from Dallas Willard. So other people have put things together on different categories of things, but we're starting with his because he's got some descriptions of them. Giving of ourselves and our resources beyond what seems reasonable to express our dependency on God, our time, our service, our money. So that is what C.S. Lewis wrote. If our expenditure on comforts, luxuries, amusement, etc. is up to the standard common amount, those with the same income as our own, we are probably giving away too little. If our charities do not at all pinch or hamper us, I would say they are too small. There ought to be things we should like to do and cannot because our charitable expenditures exceed them. Isn't that an amazing thought? Like, if I'm equal with other people in my giving, in my income level, and I'm able to do everything that I want to do, then my charity, my giving, I'm making no sacrifice. I'm making no sacrifice. So we're going to look at a couple of passages about that. And let me get caught up in some chat there. Just some guy. My only complaint with the card is I want the description to be longer description of the charge. Yo, I totally agree with that. A debit card is no different than a check. You're making a legal promise to pay from the account. Yeah, the only difference, ukulele, is that charge can happen like almost instantaneously and electronically, whereas the check takes some time to be able to do that. Supersonic shared lodging, I can pay back to the host. However, that works. They have a poll in the Discord, but airfare I'd likely have to do early. Your preference with the card is only in situations you have no other options. Emergency. Yep. Totally understand that. There are ways to clear a check right away as well. Yeah. Yeah, but like you were saying, not everyone takes a check anymore. And there are, by the way, if you did not know this, credit cards go through one system of electronic payment, and debit cards go through a different electronic payment system. And then Apple Pay has made their own electronic payment system. But Visa and MasterCard are the big two in both debit cards and in credit cards for the payments. I don't know if Samsung or Google Pay have made their own, or how PayPal does. But I do know that between credit and debit, there's two separate systems. And Apple made their own. I don't know if others have made their own either. But then they each have different charging systems for the vendor that's doing that. Yeah, never trust apples. Ask Adam and Eve. I'm with that opinion of it. Never do anything with Apple. But my wife is Apple, and one of my sons is. So what are you gonna do? Okay, so sacrifice. So we're gonna look at Matthew 24 6:24, and then Luke 17:10, and we can go to other places as well. But let's jump into full chapter here. And full chapter here. So Matthew, we want verse 24. Hey, you know what? We just did this not too long ago. See Discord images in DMs when you get a chance. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, not responding on me. Why are you doing that? Come on, click, click, click. All right, we'll see if... There we go. Okay. What days do we do New Testament stuff? Monday is Messiah Monday, so we are in Matthew on Monday right now. I'm having a bog down. This should not be the case. I have fiber, so it's got to be my computer. Computer must be running too much stuff. Imagine that, me running too much stuff at the same time. There we go. Okay, so Messiah Monday, we are reading in Matthew on Monday. Friday, currently, we are in the book of James. So we're also in the New Testament on Friday. Today, we are looking at sacrifice. So we're picking, so Thursday is going to have potential for New Testament as well as we look at different topics. So today we are looking at sacrifice. So we're jumping into Matthew. How many colored thermoses do you have? You mean like this? This one's not really colored. Is that what you're talking about? Supersonic? I don't know how many of those I have. I've got two primary ones with stickers all over them that are for my tea. I've got two primary ones for my bike. This one I started stickering, so that's here for workout. And then I have a whole cupboard with other ones, a couple of glass ones from First In, Last Out conference, a couple of plastic ones from Global Leadership Summit, a couple other metal ones that I've had. I mean, I don't know. I got a dozen or more. You got a Matthew question, but not really about sacrifice? That's fine. That's fine. Go ahead and ask. We can go over there a second too. Okay. So I just want to get the context here. We're in the Sermon on the Mount. Do not store up for yourself treasures on earth where moth and vermin destroy and where thieves break in and steal. Do not store up for but store up for yourself treasures in heaven where moth and vermin do not destroy and where thieves do not break and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. The eye is the lamp of the body. If the eye is healthy, the whole body is full of light. But if the eye is unhealthy, the whole body will be full of darkness. If the light within you is darkness, how great is that darkness? No one can serve two masters. Either they will hate the one and love the other, or they will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money. Now, it's usually translated mammon. Money is a good representation in our culture to some degree, but money just represents everything that money can do. Pleasures, accumulation of things, hats included, accumulation of things, shoes, purses. I'm not picking on anybody. Whatever it might be, the accumulation of things. It's interesting why they did not go in a different direction. Anyway, what do you think is the purpose of the Sermon on the Mount? Oh, we just did the Sermon on the Mount in the last couple of readings on Monday, so you must have missed us. I think the purpose is to challenge our thinking about I'm not worse than other people, I'm okay. To thinking, I don't compare myself to other people. I need to go above and beyond what everybody's expectations are in regards to how I treat everyone else, in regards to my responsibility towards everyone else. The question is, am I my brother's keeper? The answer is yes. The question is, what do I do with my enemies? You love them. Like even Even sinners and tax collectors associate with those who love them. Pray for those who persecute. I mean, it is too. Let me go back. Because as we were reading through it, it starts in 5, and I pointed out, I think that this is the... Oops, sorry. I didn't do that right. So this part is bringing up who are you serving, which is within the whole of it. Okay, so we have these, which the world would say these type of people are not blessed. He is pointing out this is the way to the blessed life. And then blessed are you when people insult you, persecute you, falsely say all kinds of things. Rejoice and be glad, your reward is great in heaven. So we return back to the theme of heaven with our current passage, still in this Sermon on the Mount. They persecuted so here I think is the thrust of the whole Sermon on the Mount. You are the salt of the earth, but if salt loses its saltiness, how can it be made salty anymore? It's no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled underfoot. You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people put a lamp, and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on a stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others. They may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. I think that's the purpose of the whole thing. Everything is coming off of that. And he has given the rationale of what does it mean like to live under a system of I'm not as bad as other people, I'm okay, to no, you have to go above and beyond. You have to love your enemies. You have to do more. You have to do more. So that's what I think it is. Yes, ask the wrong questions, like when the guy asked Jesus, who was my neighbor? And the answer is Good Sam, is basically how to be a good neighbor. Temple. See, I kind of think that's maybe the purpose as well, but I think it's a bigger picture. And I'm not disagreeing there's a bigger picture there. I'm oversimplifying it for ease of myself of retaining the direction of it. So yeah, I do think it's bigger than that. Because he is taking and confronting various aspects of society. He is taking and confronting the conventional wisdom and the teaching of the leaders that are around them. At the conclusion of it, what the crowd identifies is that Jesus has authority, and he speaks with one of authority who is unlike others. So in that regard, what we have in the Sermon on the Mount is a parallel with Moses, and Jesus is being identified as one like Moses because Moses was up on Mount Sinai, brought the word of God down to the people for them to be able to know how to live. Now that they've lived under that system, Jesus is bringing a new understanding of how to live, how to love, how to be in relationship with God and others. And so he is bringing the new covenant, the new law. So yeah, there is a bigger aspect of it too than just simply what does it mean for me. So if in that regard you're thinking through some implications of, yep, he's on the mount, Moses was on the mount, he gave the teachings for people to follow, Jesus is giving the teachings for people to follow. It is a perfect parallel between the two of those figures, the Moses that was and the Moses that it has come again. Hope that makes sense. If you have other thoughts, I'd love to hear them. Okay, so essentially, the premise of this part is sacrifice. What am I serving? What am I serving? Now, it says you can't serve both God and money, or we could go look up that word, but the implication is accumulation of life, of pleasure, of luxury, of acts of, more things that I need than others. Like, by the way, we're just having a conversation about how many of these mugs do I have? This one was free, by the way. The ones I was mentioning from Global Leadership Summit were free. The ones I was mentioning from First In, Last Out conference were free. Others have been, someone gives you a plastic bottle for something. Oh, there's another one up there, Fresh Hope, up there on top of my water bottle collection. most of those have been free. These ones I bought last year specifically because these keep my tea warm for up to 12 hours. And then I wanted to sticker them. So now I'm stickering the water bottles, which was a great suggestion by one of my mods, instead of buying it something new to sticker, because really I don't need more than 2 at a time, but I can sticker my water bottles in the same way and advertise. I also did get some clear contact paper, so I've got to go through. Where is it? This one is good, I think. Yeah, this one's good. This one. That sticker there replaced a previous sticker that wore out. That sticker is wore out. I need to put a sticker over that. This one is going to wear out unless I cover it. So is that one. But if I get this covered with clear contact paper, it will hopefully protect the stickers that are there from wearing out, which is my plan. Okay. See, I kind of think that maybe the purpose as well, but I think it's... Oh, sorry. Thought you might have typed something else. That was still the same comment. Okay. So what are you striving for? Now, I'm not one of these people that thinks that I need to make a vow of poverty. God hasn't called me to that. But maybe God has called you to a vow of poverty. I don't know where God has called you. But what I do... Oh, you know what? Let me look up that passage a minute. Okay, we'll come back to this one if it's not in the next passage we're looking up. Yeah, Luke 17 is the next one. Oh, what was the verse? I forgot. 17:10. Okay, we'll come back to that. But here's one of those things to think about. When I'm going to go purchase a car, and if you're not in the U.S., this may not make any sense to you. Most of us in the U.S. need cars for transportation. Unless you live in a large city with public transportation, you need... our society is based on being able to get in a car and go somewhere. So, my boys live a 15-minute, 20-minute car ride, 15-minute car ride down the road. Sure, I could ride my bicycle there. Sure, I could walk. Not going to happen on a regular basis. The road system, the walking system, the bike system, bike is probably the best, are not designed to be able for me to get to their place. It would, a couple of the roads I would have to go on, a bit dangerous. Yes. Also, distance. I wasn't even just thinking totally distance. That my daughter, hey, DeMario, welcome in. Sorry, DeMaro. My daughter lives 3 hours away by car. That distance would make it so that I would see her twice a year at most. My mom is 5 hours away. I see her pretty much every month or, every other month. The wintertime, it's a little less often. It would make it so that it'd be once a year, twice a year at most that we'd see each other. Let alone going to and from where you would work if you're working in a physical place. So the grocery store would take me hours upon hours to go to take care of physical needs or, those kinds. So just saying is, I have a need for a car at some level because of the society that I live in, and I can make choices about, do I buy a used car? Do I buy a new car? Okay, what meets my needs? What are my needs? But then when I get that answered, I can ask the question of, well, is this new purchase going to limit my ability to help the homeless person that I drive past? I have there's a homeless guy that I see. Well, I haven't. When I was driving back and forth, when I was preaching at a couple of churches over the last 3 years, I would stop at Panera. He was there regularly. I would give him a gift card, buy him a coffee, those kinds of things. if I've got a car with 265,000 miles on it. If I upgrade that car and I have a car payment, that limits my ability to buy him a cup of coffee, because not that that cup of coffee is expensive. I've just taken all of my free, income to be able to do that and not give to him. In regards to, can I give bits and tips and subs without it costing me something? Or does it cost me something? Those kinds of things. So, hope that's making sense. Temple Snow. Even the Great Commission at the end of Matthew has this in focus. He's talking to the Jews and telling them to go to the nations, i.e. the Gentiles. Yeah. And also, he goes up on a mountain to give them the last words. He goes up on the mountain for transfigurations. Yeah, Temple, you're picking up on some mountain themes, and mountain themes should make our minds go to Moses or Elijah. And, the transfiguration has both Moses and Elijah on it. A good number of miles. Papa used to have a car with 250K, I think. Yeah. Record most mileage on a car you heard of is over 3 million. Yeah, that's amazing. This is the vehicle I've had the most miles on. Most vehicles I've had have died before I got to 200. This one, the engine gave up the ghost a few years ago. I can't remember if it was like right before COVID or right after COVID started. I can't remember exactly. And it was up at my mom's house. So I had to leave it there, debate on getting it fixed. It seemed like it was too much to get it fixed. But then I ended up deciding it was better to get it fixed than to have a car payment. So I put a used engine in it, partly because I didn't want a brand new engine with a used transmission and then have to start repairing other stuff. So, yeah. It's the, why am I making the decisions? What am I sacrificing? So, if I were to go out and get a brand new pickup truck, which, by the way, I would love to have. I would love to have a brand new pickup truck. I have always wanted a pickup truck. I've never owned a pickup truck. My dad owned a pickup truck. My son owned a pickup truck. I actually bought the pickup truck for him, so I guess you could say I owned it. Just a little Mazda B2500. Love that truck, like a Ford Ranger. But I would use it. It would be beneficial. My daughter's got a big old pickup truck. She's got an awesome truck. I'd love to have one. You know what that would cost me in the ability to do for other people, and those kinds of things? A little Mazda Vicarious, yes. Temple. I contemplate this main purpose because there are several verses throughout the Sermon on the Mount that are rather perplexing, and I wonder if I can make better sense of them if I have a grasp of the main purpose. Yeah, and that's why, that was one reason why I was pointing back to the salt and light. The salt and light for me is the thing for me to evaluate all of the other verses on. So the bigger comparison is Moses on the mountain, Jesus on the mountain, and we're comparing the two of them, that they are bringing the word of God to the people. In that regard, there are those things. He is taking the law from a perspective of the law that has been expanded beyond what Moses gave, all of the aspects of the law that they understand, and he is saying it's not enough. It's not about obedience, it's about love.
Latrell Samuel Mora just followed.
Hey, thank you for the follow. Latrell Samuel Moore. Well met, my friend. Well met. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for the follow. So, that for me had been a revolutionary thing. Like, he's taking the idea and saying it's more. It's taking the idea and saying, no, it's not. It's not just obedience. It's your heart. And in that, you need to do more than what's expected. You need to go above and beyond what is the minimum standard of things. So, that's part of what I see in there. I hope that makes sense. You know what? If you talk about it from a Jewish perspective, there is the surface level, there is the deeper level, and then there is the hidden level. I don't think I've fully uncovered the hidden level. I think I've been digging in the deeper level on some of it, trying to frame it together. But I think there's still more hidden in here. I've run into a couple of people who've given the advice that if you want to know how to grow in your faith, just keep reading the Sermon on the Mount. And I'm inclined to start to think that that's part of what I want to do is spend more time in the Sermon on the Mount. And I have, in the last 3 years, spent more time in the Sermon on the Mount than I probably did in the previous 12 years. So, you don't know what to read, go read the Sermon on the Mount. Okay, so what verse are we looking at? I forgot. 17, verse 10. Okay. But I want to read up to it because it's not going to be that far, and I want the context. So Jesus said to his disciples, this can cause people to stumble. Oh, sorry. Things that cause people to stumble are bound to come, but woe to anyone through whom they come. It would be better for them to be thrown into the sea with a millstone tied around their neck than to cause one of these little ones to stumble. So watch yourself. Yes. It's one reason why when people ask me specifically on certain things, I say I'm not sure. Because I don't know if what I say or don't say would cause someone to stumble. I don't know on everything that I haven't fully understood. So I don't want to be the one that, opens someone up to that. If your brother or sister sins against you, rebuke them. And if they repent, forgive them. Even if, they sin against you 7 times in a day, and 7 times come back and say, I repent, you must forgive them. Woo! I forgot it was 7 times in a day. 7, the number of totality and completeness. So they totally do and take advantage of you. They come back and say, I really didn't mean to. I'm sorry. And they do it again and again and again. It's like, keep doing it, like, repeatedly. Like, forgive them. If asked, you forgive. Woo! Isn't that a hard thing? Sorry, that's not what we're looking at. But, ooh, that's a hard thing. The apostles said to the Lord, increase our faith. Like, we can't do that. We can't do that. All right, let me get caught up on chat before I go to the next aspect of this. For instance, I wonder if pluck out of your eye, lest you go to hell, should be framed in the idea that by sinning like this, you will be invalidating your purpose of reaching the nations, and that's how God will judge you as being unfaithful. I think that could also be in regards to being salt that's lost its saltiness. Would be the way I would frame it. You're saying the same thing. You are salt that has lost its saltiness, and what do we do with salt that's lost its saltiness? It's cast out and trampled underfoot. So same imagery there. I would see the same thing. That we have to focus on forgiving others like Jesus, even though they try to spiritually, physically, and emotionally hurt us. Yes. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Those are both intertwined. Yep. So now he's going to give an example. Oh, he replied, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to a mulberry tree, be uprooted and planted in the sea, and it will obey. This one's always fascinated me, the faith of a mustard seed. Yeah, I think it probably is a double entendre there. But One of my seminary, or I should say several of my seminary professors always said, don't go looking for double meanings in things. And I'm like, I just feel like, no, man, they're all over the place. They're all over the place. And within the cultural context, they would have been throwing them down all the time on the double meanings of things. I just think that it was intended for you to pick up the double meaning. And like John, for instance, the whole Gospel of John is this interweaving between taking a word that the Jewish people are going to understand in one way and the Greeks are going to understand another way, weaving them together and talking to both of them simultaneously, like by talking about the word, the logos, which the Jews would have equated with wisdom, which was with God, and wisdom was a thing that always existed in their mind. And so logos is the word used to describe that. And the Greeks used logos because there had to be something that was higher and superior to all of the gods. They couldn't figure out what it was, and they called it the logos. So John is weaving that like all the way through. And when he is saying the I am statements, there is a connection in the Old Testament with many of them, but there's also a direct connection to each one of the Greek gods, or not each one, the 7 Greek gods that he identifies with. Oh, one of your Greek gods has that? Well, Jesus is too. So he's constantly doing the double on that. So the word translated lose its saltiness can also mean be made foolish. Ooh, I didn't understand that aspect of it, Temple. That's, yeah. My lexicon probably did not have that in it, or I didn't remember it. Maybe foolish. Ooh. So being foolish is not being wise and not, yeah. Well, I was thinking more in the direction of the trample part was the thing that I was thinking of, the losing saltiness in then being trampled. So I was taking the second half of it, of being trampled underfoot. Like, yes, salt actually does that, but yes, being trampled underfoot is when you let people walk all over you. So not even the eternal punishment, but the right now. The Romans are walking all over you. You are being trampled underfoot. Why are you being trampled underfoot, O Jerusalem? Because you lost your saltiness. You are not a light. You are not a city on the hill. So there was the double that I was thinking is the being trampled by your enemies because you've lost light. So does salt even lose its taste? You've never heard of it happening. Okay. So, Temple, we need to back up into first century, not our modern salt. So, salt would have been collected and had impurities within the salt itself. The pure salt does not lose its flavor. So, if you are poor quality salt and you're mostly other things within it, you lose your ability to do what you are called to do. So there's two ways to look at it, and scholars, I think, have gone in both directions. One is no, salt can't lose its saltiness, so he's talking about an impossibility, and you better not do this. But if we look at the aspect of they would have had impure salt, it would have been contaminated salt, salt that was of no value, salt that, from... I'll talk in a modern sense, like the salt in a salt shaker. If you've ever had it, that's all clumped together and you can't shake it out. It's lost its value, and it's no longer good for being able to put in things because it's a clump. That also could kind of be that. So it is, yeah, having too much within you that contaminates you to make you be able to be useful for the purpose for which you are created would be another way of thinking about that. Okay. Hope that makes sense. And there could be more possibilities with that. Can salt actually lose its flavor? Well, I guess the other thing would be if I take salt, for instance, I have started putting salt in my tea. I've got what is it? Something gold tea or salt. I can't remember. But I started putting like a little. I'd have to measure it. Is it a quarter teaspoon in my tea just to get some electrolytes and other stuff in there? And that's a big container to have that much salt in it, so it's not a big deal. But I've put that in there so that I get it. But you know what? It doesn't make this salty. In order to make this salty, I got to put like a tablespoon in here and maybe a teaspoon. A teaspoon would probably make it salty. But if I put a tablespoon, it's totally salty. So if I wanted that to be salty, it would have a value. If I don't want it to be salty, it's losing its flavor. Hope that's making sense. All right. So continuing in Luke, he replied, the mustard seed. The mustard seed is a very tiny seed. So a tiny amount of faith, you can say to a mulberry tree, be uprooted and planted in the sea, and it'll obey you. I can't comprehend telling trees to be moved. So we're talking about things that are impossible, and he's saying the smallest amount of faith can do the most impossible thing. Cool. I think that's just what it is there. So they're like, we need more faith. He's like, no, you need to use the faith you have. Ooh, we need more faith. No, just use the faith you have. Stop saying you don't have enough faith. Use it. I don't know. I think that's what he's saying. A tiny seed that makes a very big tree, the mustard seed. Yeah. Well, not only that, the mustard seed faith tell a mulberry tree to uproot itself and plant itself in the sea. Like, I've never imagined telling a tree to do something. I know, and in the other one it says to the mountain to go throw itself in the sea. But here it's the tree. Temple. I've wondered if this isn't about quantity, but is actually about quality. I think I've thought that before, Temple, but I think I'm thinking it's more about implementation, and so using your faith that you have. If I have the smallest amount of faith, I put that faith into practice. I think that's what it's about. It's practice the little faith that you have. But yeah, you could say it's quality, but he doesn't make anything equating it to quality. He's equating it to the amount. The amount you have is sufficient, I think is what he's saying. The amount you have is sufficient. Go use it. Go use it. You got a little bottle of faith? Use it. In fact, the fact that I might have a little amount might actually make it a bigger thing if it happens. It doesn't mean you only need a little amount of faith, but it means the nature of your faith should be humble. So I don't think it's about the humble, because they ask to have their faith increased. I don't think that their faith increase is making our faith, that everyone can see our faith. I don't think it's about the amount, that it is identifying you think yours is tiny. Use it. I think that's what it is. I could be wrong. You're right. There is a level of humble there, but I don't think they're questioning. Maybe they want to increase their faith to be able to be prideful about it. Maybe there is that. But they're realizing the thing here, that they don't think they can accomplish the thing that Jesus said they should do. And he's saying, you are sufficient in what you have. We could also go to other passages. My grace is sufficient. But let's move into the next example. Maybe that'll help us discern a little more. Suppose one of you has a servant plowing or looking after the sheep. Will you say to the servant when he comes in from the field, come along now and sit down to eat? Wouldn't you rather say, prepare me supper, get yourself ready, and wait for me while I eat and drink, and after that you may eat and drink? Will he thank the servant because he did what he was told to do? So you also, when you have done everything you were told to do, should say, we are unworthy servants, we have only done our duty. So, if you're the servant, you need to do what's expected, and when you do what's expected, you shouldn't be prideful. And you shouldn't expect other. I'm not sure where this one comes in with sacrifice. This seems like a weird passage. You So you also, when you've done everything you were told to do, should say, we are unworthy servants. We've only done our duty. I think there's the aspect of humility that you're talking about. There's the aspect of humility, of being a faithful servant, of doing the will of the one who sent you. So I can see that. You're not going to be elevated above. So maybe they are asking for not simply their faith, but the show part of their faith, that people could see the show of their faith. Maybe there is that. Okay. So it only gave me those two for sacrifice. Oh. Your sacrifice question was about John 1:16-17. Does grace upon grace mean Jesus is going to give himself as a sacrifice? Ooh, interesting. Well, we got an ad break that'll be coming in here, but let me go. So, John 1. (16 and 17). Okay. Well, we got ad break coming in, so we'll come back to that. And then I had another one I wanted to look up over here, which is give to everyone who asks, expecting nothing in return. But let's go ahead and take a break and check out the fish. And let me promo Reach Conference for you.
Attention streamers, content creators, game players. Last year, ReachConf was an absolute blast. An in-real-life celebration where creators connected, impactful speakers inspired, gaming tourneys, on-stage shenanigans, and fantastic music kept the energy high. It was more than an event. It was a community coming together. Get ready for ReachConf 2025, happening November 6 to 8. All the best parts of gaming and creative culture will be there, live and in person. Last year, we hit capacity. And even with increased numbers this year, tickets are sure to sell fast. Don't miss your chance to be part of the ultimate IRL experience. Grab your tickets now and join the movement.
With his cam he shows it all. Little fish both big and small. Life in ponds so serene. Nature's beauty on a screen. See the ripples, watch the flow. Hear the music, gentle glow. Flat caps charm and calming tone makes the fish feel right at home. Watch the fish, they swim.
Josh, you haven't seen one since you started using Brave? I'm not sure what Brave is. But one of the reasons I run ads is so that I remember to get up and stretch and take a break. So I'm not sitting in a chair all day long. So that's one of the reasons I do it.
Refuse candy shows it all. Little fish, both big and small. Life in ponds so serene. Nature's beauty on the screen.
All right, everybody coming on back. So the upper left is Lake Superior, covered with snow. The upper right is some koi, and as I've moved koi around and rearranged my tanks in the last couple of weeks, that tank, they want to sit at the top, but if I go to the top, all you see is a bunch of lights that are blasting there. So the lower left is the guppies, which looks like it's frozen for some reason. All of them actually look like they're frozen. What's up with that? Yep, it's all frozen. Sorry about that. Temple. I don't know the right way to take it yet, but as far as you can tell, linguistically, when you have Kai, Avti, Anti Kai construction, it's referred to as an exchange, not the way it's practically everyone takes it. Oh, grace in place of. Okay, I think the way I have seen it might still be workable within that. But anyway, it seems like it's nearly unanimous that people take it to mean we have a previous grace and now we've had even more grace poured on top. Yeah, so that would be the general direction that I've seen and looked at it. Did I not push go? What happened? What is going on? Weird. Oh, sorry. This is the one I want. Okay. Okay. The Word became flesh and dwelt among us. We have seen the glory of the one and only who came from the Father, full of grace and truth. John testified concerning him. He cried out, "This is the one I spoke about when I said, 'He who came after me has surpassed me because he was before me.' Out of his fullness we have received grace in place of grace already given. For the law was given through Moses, grace and truth came through Jesus Christ. No one has ever seen God, but the one and only Father, who is himself God and is the closest relationship with God." So, the giving of the law is God's grace for a way to be able to come, to be able to be in his presence, to worship him. And now there is a greater grace in place of it. So if you're saying exchange, I think we can exchange the grace that was given through Moses for the grace that is given through Jesus Christ. As opposed to seeing it, there is already some and placing it on top. Yeah, that took an exchange understanding. Yeah. So I still think the grace that has already been given through Moses has to be a count there and has to go back to the Torah. You can interpret what you think that grace is. Is it the system for being able to be made clean so that you can come in and worship God? Is it the giving of the law itself as being able to have any relationship with God and to worship and serve God? That construct only an eye for an eye. Ooh, well, that would make it good for the exchange. Yeah, I think. Well, here they're taking that in place of. They're taking it in place of the grace, not putting it upon. Let's go over here to the net a second. Sorry, that was John 1. Come on, I just want to look at the... Let's see if they have a footnote here. They did not go. So the NIV does go more in the direction of, it feels like, of an exchange. But they have a good footnote here. Early commentators, including Origen and Luther, took the words, "For we have all received from his fullness one gracious gift after another," to be John the Baptist's. Oh, not Moses. Most modern commentators take them as the words of the author. For from his fullness we have all received a grace upon grace. The meaning of the phrase... Okay. The meaning of the phrase, there we have it. Karin anti karatas could be love, grace under the new covenant in place of love, grace under the Sinai covenant, thus replacement. So there would be your exchange. Grace on top of grace, thus accumulation. grace corresponding to grace, thus correspondence. The most commonly held view, too, is one sense or another, and this is probably the best explanation. This sense is supported by fairly well-known use of Philo. Posterity suggested that Exodus 33:13 provides the background for this expression. Now, therefore, I pray you, if I have found charis in your sight, let me know your ways, that I may know you, and so that I may find charis in your sight. Hooker proposed that it is the idea of favor given to one who has already perceived favor which lies behind, and this seems very probable as a good explanation as the meaning of the phrase. Okay, so I guess right here in the Net Bible, there's some other sources you could look into, Temple. Yes, I thought the same thing. Including early commentators, including Origen and Luther. Yes, Luther is not early. That is, I would have worded that early commentators like Origen and later commentators like Luther took. I would have phrased it that way. Just Jay, welcome in, friend. Welcome in. Okay. Let me put it this way. I think whichever way that we look at it is the new covenant on top of the old covenant, a pouring out of more. Yeah, I think I could say that. Is the new covenant in place of the old covenant a now here is the way? I can see that too. One of the problems is with just fully going that as the whole of it is now I can diminish the old, but actually I probably can do that with the other way as well. So now that I think about it, it could probably go either way. But the exchanging of the one for the other is now I don't need it versus the building on top of I need the other for foundation. But I don't think that makes a difference in what is being said here. I believe that's what it said. In Philo, posterity. Posterity 43, 145. So I'm guessing that Philo, and then the other was Exodus 33:13. Get that pasted for you there. Samarella, hey, welcome in, friend. Absolutely, we can do prayer time. How are you doing? Are you feeling any better? Have things improved over the last couple of days for you? Are they still thinking next week before you are able to be released? All right. I'll look into that. Yeah, Exodus is just the word grace. I think the better argument is to look at, yeah, well, and I think that they're making the point that in that Exodus passage in the Septuagint, it uses grace in both of those. And you're taking a whole phrasing of starting with grace, going through a process, and then receiving grace. So if I already have grace in your sight, then may I have grace in your sight? May I receive your grace? So I think that's the point of the other place is where you have two uses of it. Yeah, the ante isn't there, but the building upon is an aspect of it. But I don't know. Much worse, you're not sure if you can talk about it here. For now, you just need some peace of mind. Okay, absolutely. God, we are lifting up Samarella, who is recovering from surgery, and who right now just needs peace of mind. So we just pray that you guard her heart and mind in Christ Jesus. You bring the peace that surpasses understanding. You bring her comfort. You quiet her mind. You put aside anything that is racing and thoughts in her mind that that are just warring against each other, that are just consuming her mind, and that you replace them with hope. You replace them with peace. You replace them with love. God, we love Samarella. We thank you that she is part of our community, and we're praying for her physical healing as well, recovery from the surgeries that she's had, that she may have full healing, that you may allow her body to respond, that you'll deal with and give guidance and wisdom to the doctors and nurses who are providing care, that she gets the best possible care that she can, that she recovers swiftly and fully. God, heal her heart, mind, body, and soul. Heal her in every capacity, all that she's in need of. Surround her with your loving arms, bind her up, and protect her. Let's pray this all in Jesus' mighty name. Amen. Samarella, love you. Love you, friend. I'm just clicking on something here. The fish pond cams are not responding at all, which is interesting. So I'm just shutting it down. And my bit rate is unstable. My bit rate is unstable. I did not expect that to happen with all of my new stuff. So it's got to be a computer issue. You're welcome, Samarella. Anytime. And if you want to DM me with more deets on all that's going on, you are more than welcome to do that. Oh, cool. Cool. All right. So, so going back to, if you joined us later, we are Artsy Bible Nerd. Welcome in, friend. We're talking about sacrifice today. And I really like C.S. Lewis's quote here. Giving of ourselves and our resources beyond what seems reasonable to express our dependency on God, time, service, and money. So, do I have a limit of when I'm available? To a degree, I do. And to the degree that I have a limit depends on our relationship. So, I am open to anyone direct messaging me. Everybody has access to direct message me. No limits there. However, I may not respond immediately when you send me a DM. Whatever method you send me a DM, I may not respond immediately because while I'm sleeping, I don't have notifications on that are going to make their way to wake me up so that I could respond. So there's that limitation. However, if you are someone that I give my phone number to, now that barrier is gone. I am reachable so long as I'm in the U.S. 24/7. And I give that to you when we are in a relationship that it might necessitate itself to me being available to you. It might necessitate itself for you in a time of crisis, and I'm willing to give it to you. But I also trust you to not abuse that on some level, but you're at a different place where I will give of my time. I will sacrifice my sleep to do what is needed on your behalf. That's one of those things. So it would be my time that I would give to you, and then whatever service it might be that I would be needed from you in that. So do my kids all have my phone number? Oh, duh. Of course they do. Does everyone online have my phone number? Some of you do. And And if there were circumstances in which we have a deeper relationship, we're doing things with each other, I absolutely can give that to you. So just kind of talking through those things. So I give of my time. I make myself available to do those things. I'm right now working on my time that I am taking time away from my wife. So I did this on Monday by streaming and doing a collab stream with As Always Ministries on Monday, doing the podcast. So it is giving of my time to others. And then today I'm gonna be doing the same. I'm giving of my time to do another podcast episode with Warrior of Light with Blessing Boat. We're doing that tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm taking time away from what I want to do, taking time away from time I could be with my wife to do that. I'm going to start doing that, willing to do that, do collab streams that are beneficial to you and then also beneficial to helping spread the word of digital ministry. So those are the purposes of it. Is it elevating me? I don't feel like it is. Is it platforming me? Probably not. I don't think so. To the degree I'm trying to platform other people. So I'm giving up my time to bring and make awareness of you to other people is my hope with that. So I'm not doing it on my own channel. I'm doing it on the Church Digital's channel. So if you're looking for me tonight and looking for me here, I won't be here. I'll be over at the Church Digital on Twitch. And we'll do that podcast. Then on Saturday, I'm going to be in Blessing Boat, giving of my time there. And there are many people who give of their time through Blessing Boat to help people reach affiliate level. We give of our time. Even if we already are affiliate, even if we're a partner and we go over there, we're giving of our time, bringing our communities to help of other people. We're giving of our time and our service for other people. So, I don't know. I just love that. Will it be okay if I whisper you, and is it okay you can help me with some suggestions? Absolutely, Samarella. Everyone is always, I am always open to direct message from anyone. Yeah, I don't make any limits on that whatsoever. Direct messages are always open. I usually don't give suggestions unless people ask for them, but if you ask, I am willing to help either by giving suggestions or help walk through and think about ways that you can do things. So even whether they're my suggestions or I help point you to other people. Okay. So sacrifice. So I was thinking about this one. Like, to me, this is a piece of let's go in context here in Luke 6. I'm thinking my processor must be bogged down here. Okay. If someone slaps you on one cheek, turn to them also the other. If someone takes your coat, do not withhold your skirt from them. Give to everyone who asks, and if, if anyone takes what belongs to you, do not demand it back. Do to others as you would have them do unto you. Okay, so that last phrase, it being the key thrust there, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Now, he does give two examples of someone slapping you on the cheek, and I've heard that when you turn the other one, there's a difference of being slapped on the, and I don't know the difference of the backhand or the front hand, and the way that you would slap someone, a difference being in being a subordinate or being an equal or something along those lines. I don't know exactly what that is. I can't keep that part of my head. But part of the turning the other cheek is pointing out the injustice that's been done to you. If someone takes your coat, don't withhold your shirt from them. So why would they take your coat? You owe them, and you're giving them your coat to hold in exchange until you're able to pay them back. So it's collateral is what you're doing. However, you're supposed to return the collateral to them at night because they need the coat to sleep with, and they can return it to you in the morning. The practice wasn't actually following it. They're taking the coat, and they're not letting you have it at night. So he's saying, point out the injustice by giving them your shirt also. But then he goes a step further. I think here. Give to everyone who asks, and if someone takes what belongs to you, do not demand it back. So I thought there was another one where that he did give to everyone expecting nothing in return. I'll have to go look for that one. Okay, you sent me a whisper. Awesome. I've got a couple of whispers going on. Oh, Samarella. Okay. I can't do that on stream. I will look into that later. Yeah. Yep. I will look into that, Samarella. Queen. Hey, good morning, Queen Casanova. You don't really have sound, so you won't be able to hear you. You are at college right now, and we are just going over stuff you already know. Okay. I find it funny when people are hanging out in a stream actively when they're in class, but you know, if you're an adult making those decisions, I'm not going to tell you. If you're a kid in middle school, high school, you probably need to pay attention in class. So. Yeah, but really low, not off. Yeah, I gotcha. Okay. If someone asks, it takes what belongs to you, do not demand it back. I thought there was another, maybe it's lend. Lend to everyone is the one I'm looking for. Or maybe it's lend and expect nothing in return. Okay. Matthew. Okay. So Matthew 5:42. That's what I'm looking for. So we were right around there earlier. So we're back to the Sermon on the Mount. We're back to the Sermon on the Mount. Okay. Here we go. You have heard it said. So Jesus goes through this whole section. We talked about this of an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. You're talking about the exchange there. So you give me this, I give you that. You a tooth for a tooth. You take my tooth, I take your tooth. I'm going to retaliate in likeness to what you have done. Now, this is not bad advice from the standpoint of this is supposed to stop the escalation of retaliation. Like, I'll go a little mafia here. You chop off my little finger, I chop off your hand. Okay? I'm not supposed to escalate the situation. I pay back only to the extent it was done to me. That's what this is supposed to be doing. It's supposed to be a limitation of what is done in retribution or retaliation. But I tell you, do not resist an evil person. If, if anyone slaps you on the right cheek, turn to them also the other cheek. And if, if anyone wants to sue you and take your shirt, hand over your coat as well. If, if anyone forces you to go 1 mile, go with them 2 miles. So we just looked at it in Luke. Here's the parallel in Matthew. But he does it a little bit different here at the end. Give to anyone who asks you, and do not turn away from the one who wants to borrow from you. I still thought there was a borrow and not get it returned. That's not quite the one I want. This is don't turn away from the one, but I thought there was expecting nothing in return. Expecting nothing in return. There we go. Oh, okay, there it is. Luke 6:35 and 36. We'll get there eventually. And this is one of the things with this is it's just chasing down and finding the different things, taking the ones that they have, exploring them, seeing where the conversation goes, all of those things. Oh, yeah, you don't have to talk about it on stream. No, you don't even feel comfortable enough to ask for help over this, and I know how much of a bother it'll be for you. Keep asking for help, but just didn't want to hide things. Samarella, no, it is not a bother at all. But yeah, I will, like, yeah, I agree. This is something I would rather, and you're not comfortable. So yeah, it is an off-stream. It's an off-stream thing, but I appreciate you letting me know. So I just looked at it, didn't read it fully. So, yeah, you're doing bad things here, Pastor, and just scared about everything. Yeah, and we're praying for you, Samarella. We are praying for you. And this is what I do, Samarella. I care about people. I try to help people. I try to help you in your faith journey, wherever it is. If you're far away from God, if you don't believe in God, I'm going to love you the same. If you are walking towards God, or even just turned your face towards to explore Jesus, I'm there. If you're following after, I want to help you to improve. If you're struggling with something in life, this is what I do, Samarella. That's what God's made me to do. So this is not a bother. This is what my heart desires, is to come alongside of people who are struggling, and to bring comfort and peace and hope, to be an encouragement. So, Samarella, it is no burden on me, but I won't be able to address that till later today. So, and I definitely will explore that. And I have friends in different places that I can reach out to as well, which I won't share anyone's name. When I reach out, I will be looking for resources and things like that. So we'll just take that in the DM direction, Samarella. Okay, so it was 36 is what it said. Okay. At times you feel like I'm asking prayers for everyone seeking help and not being able to act on your own, like I'm being too selfish. I don't see asking for prayers being selfish. The other thing, Samarella, is God tells us, Jesus tells us to be persistent in our prayers. He tells the story of the persistent widow who keeps asking until she gets the help, the justice that she needs. So Samarella, keep asking until never, do not give up on it. Just keep asking. Okay. Okay, so we had gotten close to it. Do unto others you'd have them to do. I just needed to keep going here. That's where I was looking. Okay. If you love those who love you, what credit is that to you? Even sinners love those who love them. I just love that example. Like, oh, yay for you. You love a person that loves you. Oh, yippee. So reciprocal love. Yeah. Nice. Anybody can do that. And if, you do good to those who do good to you, what credit is that to you? Even sinners do that. And if, you lend to those from whom you expect repayment, what credit is that to you? Even sinners lend to sinners expecting to be repaid in full. Okay, so he lays out the way the world is. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to lend to you if I know you have collateral that I can take in exchange. Banks do this today. What collateral do you have that I can loan you, that I can get it back, and I can get my money out so that I don't lose anything. I don't want to have a risk here. I'm not a charity here. Oh, okay. But love your enemies, do good to them, and lend without expecting anything back. I just love that phrase. Lend without expecting anything back. There's the sacrifice. There is the sacrifice. Now, I'm not telling you to do this. Part of this is just my personality of when I lend to people, I don't keep track of what I lend to them because I'm not a checklist. I don't like logging things. I'm more relational. I'm not going to do all those things. So to me, to log what I loaned you is work for me. I don't want it to be work for me. So I will lend to you, and it's on you to know what I gave you. It's on you to pay me back. I will never hold it over your head because I don't have any idea what I loaned you. Okay? Now you're saying, well, that's a bad steward of what your resources are. Nah, I don't see it that way. I see it as if you need it, you need it. And if you never pay me back, I'm okay with that. I can afford to never have you pay me back. Now, I've never given sums like, $100,000 because I don't have it to give to you. So, were that to be the case, like I took a loan, and I'm giving an example of family members of my wife who this happened. They took out a mortgage on their house to pay off debt that their daughter owed. Then they were both retired, by the way. They went back to work to pay off the loan, and the daughter never paid them back. Let me tell you, the family is not too thrilled about that. The other side of the family that the daughter was not of, because it's a second marriage for both, none too pleased about that. Well, let me get to that. So anyway, loan without expecting something back. Samarella, I'm not expecting anything back from you in any way. The only part that I need back from you is a continued ongoing relationship. But the other part is the paying me back will be in seeing you get to the other side of this, no matter how long it takes. If it's weeks, months, years, and I know I don't want to say that to be a discouragement, but the point saying is I want to be in this with you through that journey all the way through. And then you paying it back is more of, I think, a way of, if you know the movie Pay It Forward, of you pay it back by you being able to help others because you've gone through it. That's how you pay me back, is by helping someone else who can't pay you back. That's so much joy for me when things like that happen. So I hope that makes sense, Samarella. And you know what? That might be totally foreign to anything you've ever experienced. But that's part of what makes me who I am. Is that you're not good like that? Well, that's okay. I wasn't always this way either. Okay. I would not loan to people like when I was a kid, because I didn't think you're going to pay me back. Let me borrow that pencil of yours. You're going to break it. You're going to sharpen it. You're going to ruin it and bring it. No. I got another one I'll give you that's a garbage piece of pencil. Let me give you that, but you're not borrowing my good one. I used to be that. I'm not anymore. I'm just willing to give whatever I have to anyone else who needs it. I'll be fine. And I don't need anything. But like I said, the ongoing connection with you, Samarella, that's all I need. And I love this. Love your enemies. So don't even just do this like to people you know. Do this to people who are hostile to you. Do good to them. Do good to them. Even lending to your enemies. Like, you see your enemy in need, give your enemy a drink if they're in need and you have the ability to do it. Then your reward will be great and you'll be children of the Most High. Okay, if you're doing it for reward, here's the way to get a true reward. I'm not doing it for reward. I just think this is the part I want. I want to be considered a child of the Most High. Like, I truly am able to show the love of God to people. because God is kind to the ungrateful and the wicked. Be merciful just as your Father is merciful. That is for me the piece of what I'm trying to do. Okay. I'm trying to think if there's anything else here with sacrifice that we could look at. Trying to think, are there any stories of sacrifice? Are there any stories of sacrifice that happen? Let me go just Google that. Bible stories about sacrifice. Oh, let's go with sacrificial love rather than sacrifice. Ruth laid down her future. Okay. Mary put her like, these are not what I'm looking for. That's really a love towards. Okay, let's look at this. 8 powerful stories. Let's see if there's anything there. Abraham and Isaac. Ruth. Ruth. Yeah, that's a good one. Ruth does sacrifice to stay with Naomi. That's a good one. That is a demonstration of, I am going to do for you. Yeah, Ruth is a good example of that. Ruth's a good example of sacrificing. Like, she could have went back to her dad. In the story, it's mother's household. I know, but she could have went back to her family. She could have gotten remarried. She could have stayed in her culture, and she gave up. She gave up her family relations to follow Naomi. That's a good one. Samson sacrificed himself. I'm going to go meh on that one. Yes, but David sacrifices Uriah. That's not what I'm looking for. Elijah sacrificed to God. No, that's not what I'm not looking at. That kind of sacrifice. Mary and Joseph sacrifice. Okay. Ooh, the widow's mite. There we go. There's a good story. Okay. Let's look at that one. Mark 12:41. Okay. That's one we need to look at. Yeah, Jesus on the cross. We know that. Okay. So Mark 11:41. Garbage truck going by. It is noisy today. Oh, is it not 41? Oh, did I do that wrong? Mark 12. Mark 12. Okay. Yeah, prayers don't cost a thing, but they do move mountains. Absolutely. Okay. Jesus sat down opposite the place where the offerings were put and watched the crowd putting their money into the temple treasury. Many rich people threw in large amounts, but a poor widow came and put in 2 very small copper coins worth a few cents. Calling his disciples to him, he said, "Truly I tell you, this poor widow has put more into the treasury than all others. They gave out of their wealth, but she, out of her poverty, put in everything, all that she had to live on." Okay, there we go. This is the supreme example of sacrifice. She puts in everything she has. What is she going to live off of now? What is she going to live off of now? In that regard, we could pick up the widow in the story of Elijah, that Elijah goes to, and he says, make me some small, make me some bread. And she says, all we have is this. I was going to cook the meal for my son, and then we were going to die. And he's like, yeah, that's all good. Make me some. And she sacrifices it to give to him. Here we have the treasury. Now, the comparison here is the wealthy are giving large amounts, and this woman is giving 2 cents. Not even 2 cents. It would have been a few cents, but those cents aren't even a value today of anything. If you have very little to give, and you give what of it, you are giving more than someone who has a lot who doesn't give, that costs them anything. So I have a lot of hats. Now, I know the hats don't mean anything, but if somebody needed a hat and I gave them one, it wouldn't cost me anything. If I had 2 hats and I gave you one of my hats, it cost me something to give you that hat. So just think about your salary, for instance, whatever your income is, whatever your best income has ever been, whatever your cost is to live on. How much of a sacrifice is it to give 1% of what your earnings are? Let's just say your earnings are $1,000 and you give $1, you're not going to miss $1. If you give, let's see, is that right? 1 out of 1,000? Oh, that's 1%. It'd be $10. Let's make it $100. I know that's not what you make. Let's make it $100. That'll my math will be easier. So you give 1%. You give $1 out of 100. Yay! You're gonna miss $1 out of $100? No. If you give 10%, which is what people call a tithe, we can talk about that sometime too. If we want, we're talking about sacrificing here, not giving. Sacrificing, I think, is a little bit different than giving. Giving is a planned action. I think sacrifice is giving something beyond. So if I give 10%, I give my giving, I have $100, I give 10. Yeah, I'm still good. It's not going to cost me much. There's probably going to be a few things where maybe I'll notice it, but most of the time, I probably won't. If I go up to 25%, if I take 25% of what I have, now I only have $75 and I give $25, I'm starting to notice it. So, in regards to, let's just say in this story, what we may have had is wealthy people who come in, who make $100,000, who took and gave $10,000. They didn't notice it. And this woman who made $100 came in and gave $100 because it's all she had. Now, you give 100% of what you have, you're going to notice it. It's gonna cost you something. That's what we're talking about with sacrifice. And Jesus is giving her as an example. Not because we need to do exactly the same. Not everyone could do that. Like if all of a sudden every single one of us gave 100% of what we had away, we would be dependent on other people. That's not the point here. The point is, it looks like she gave nothing because it was so small. The fact is she gave more because of how much it cost her. It was a sacrifice for her. So I think I had a pastor who always talked about give until it hurts. Like, what am I giving up to be able to do this? What am I giving up to be able to do this? So a friend of mine, here's a good example. A friend of mine, the company he worked for, he got 1 vacation week a year. 1 vacation week a year. Every year, he went on the church mission trip to Mexico with half of his vacation time, because we only went for like 3 days. So he could take half of his vacation time and go do a mission trip. That's what he did with his vacation time. And he's like, I'm sacrificing this so that I can go bless someone else who's less fortunate so that they can have a roof over their head, because we went and built houses. So he gave up the time to go be on vacation. He gave up cost of getting airline tickets and hotel costs to go and be on vacation, and instead go to Mexico and build a house. Be in the cold desert, and travel and build. Yeah, they're grateful, and yeah, there's blessing upon it, but it was a sacrifice because he could have been doing something else with that money that would have been more fun, that would have been more enjoyable maybe. But that's what sacrifice is. Hope that makes sense. When it's not just giving. Sacrifice is different than giving. Sacrifice cost me something. I don't know if you've heard this example before of breakfast. The difference between a sacrifice and a contribution. The chicken gives a contribution to breakfast by giving an egg. Okay, that makes sense. The pig gives his whole life for the bacon or the sausage. You can't just take the bacon or the sausage out. Now, I know it's a bad analogy from the standpoint of, well, the egg is a potential chicken that's fully dead. But I think you get the idea there of the chicken makes a sacrifice, or the chicken makes a contribution, the pig makes a sacrifice. So, does keep asking for prayers make you somewhat of a loser? Because you get the prayer, but you can't do much over anything. Let's go look at the example there. Pray without ceasing. Or maybe it's always pray. No. Some of it is trying to figure out what the translation is when I'm thinking about it. Okay. Let's try this. Since I don't want to jump into another. Okay. Luke, here we go. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Samarella here. Oh, actually, I want full chapter. Jesus told his disciples a parable to show them they should always pray and never give up. So this is the whole purpose why Jesus tells this parable, Samarella. So Jesus wants his disciples to always pray and never give up. So Samarella, that's what we should always do. Always pray and never give up. It does not make you a loser to always pray. You know what? I'll tell this story, and then I'll read this passage, and I'll tell you a story. Okay? He said, a certain man, or in a certain town, there was a judge who neither feared God nor cared what people thought. So the reason for this is clarifying motivation. Motivation. And there was a widow in the town who kept coming to him with the plea, grant me justice against my adversary. For some time he refused, but finally he said to himself, even though I do not fear God or care what people think, yet because this widow keeps bothering me, I wish it was said pestering, I will see that she gets justice so that she won't eventually come and attack me. And the Lord said, listen to what the unjust judge says. And will not God bring about justice for his chosen ones who cry out to him day and night? Will he keep putting them off? I tell you, he will see that they get justice and quickly. However, when the Son of Man comes, will he find faith on the earth? So, Jesus tells a parable that we should pray always and never give up. Always pray. Always. So if this is what you want, look, Ukulele was given the example earlier today of the man who was by the pool, who did not have the ability to walk, and so he wanted to get into the pool, and he'd been paralyzed or crippled or whatever was his condition for 38 years. He'd been that way for 38 years, unable to get in the pool to get healed. And when Jesus asked him, what do you want? He still wanted to be healed. He still, after 38 years, 36 years, whatever it was, he still wanted to be healed. He had not given up on it. He had persisted. Well, I'll give you another example. So, my wife's great-grandmother, I had to figure out how many greats it was. My wife's great-grandmother, Beulah, and her husband, Ralph, when they got married, they prayed that one of their children would be either a pastor or be a missionary. And their kids all grew up and moved away, and they still persisted in praying that. And they prayed that one of their grandkids would grow up to be a pastor or missionary, just someone in the family, that someone in the family would be called by God to go. And their grandkids grew up, and they were still praying. And then they had great-grandkids, and they were still praying. The other thing is, they never told anyone in the family. Ralph passed away, and Beulah continued to pray the prayer that someone in the family would grow up and be a pastor or a missionary. And then, when Beulah heard that I was going to seminary, she announced it's an answer to prayer. An answer to prayer that she and Ralph had prayed every day, every night since they were married, and she carried on after that. That someone in the family would be a pastor or a missionary. That is an amazing level of persistence, to persist in praying for something. I don't even know the decades of how long they were married. It's my wife's great. Let me put it this way. Let me think. Maybe prayed 70 years, something like that is going to be my guess. 70 years. I don't know exactly. The other thing was, while I was in seminary, she became ill, and she passed away like a month after my graduation. So she got to hear the news. I walked across stage. I had my diploma. I was on my way to affirm that her prayer had been answered. So there is no limit on persisting in prayer. We are to pray always until the answer comes. So I hope that's an encouragement, Samarella. I know what you're praying for. You don't want to wait that long. They didn't want to wait that long either. But when God does answer the prayer, because there's a no, there's a wait, and the wait usually is you don't hear anything, and then there's a yes. So when that yes comes, it's worth the wait. In the waiting, it might not feel like it, but all right. We got ad break going to be coming in shortly, and I'm going to need to be switching over here so that we are ready for workout stream, which I know that's weird, but I'm doing that with ReachCon. So I'm going to go ahead and give you the BRB screen, the full BRB screen, while I go change. And then when I come back, the ad will probably be coming in, and I'll be switching mics and all that fun stuff. So thank you, everyone. I will be back shortly.
Attention streamers, content creators, gamers, and cosplayers. Last year, ReachConf was an absolute blast. An in-real-life celebration where creators connected, impactful speakers inspired, gaming tourneys, on-stage shenanigans, and fantastic music kept the energy high. It was more than an event. It was a community coming together. Get ready for ReachConf 2025, happening November 6 to 8. All the best parts of gaming and creative culture will be there, live and in person. Last year, we hit capacity, and even with increased numbers this year, tickets are sure to sell fast. Don't miss your chance to be part of the ultimate IRL experience. Grab your tickets now and join the movement.
Check 1, 2, test. Let me know how loud that was. All right, Samarella. Well, I'm going to be doing workout here in a minute, so. Well, I should say top of the hour. Perfect? All right. Slightly louder. That's what I was wondering. I was thinking it was slightly louder. All right, everybody, we back. And those that do not know, Reach Conference, which I'm a part of, has started doing a 90-day challenge. And so part of that is doing a workout. So I've just decided I'm going to do it on stream. So I'm now connected over there. I've got my info over here. We should be good. I guess Queen, LOLs. Pretty much, I clicked back over to see what was going on, and it was shoes dancing across. Oh yeah, that's my BRB screen. That's my BRB screen, Queen. Whoa, this is loud. Everybody's hopping in over there on the other. So, let me go change, actually, and restart the stream here a second. Let me find... okay, and we got to drag that bigger so that I can edit stream info. Oh, you know what? I just do the end and start. But if you just keep the stream going and change the category to fitness, I know, but then it puts it all in the same VOD I'm watching. I wish there was a way to just say stop VOD, start VOD, because I don't. And if you're all just here, you all just stay back when I just end and restart. So I just got to type the new thing. So it, and category is okay, just quickly end and restart. So stopping, and you should be able to refresh if you're not here.